Okay, so on our next exercise, it's going to be similar to something we have already done in this class. We're going to be making a selection and we're going to be moving the image around a little bit to create a new image. You're going to end up with two separate layers at least, and I'm going to show you how to use a couple of new tools. Maybe just one for sure, but maybe two. So we need to go to Photopea, click on you can either type in photopea.com or you can click on the link provided in the assignment. And I'm going to let it load up. My internet is not as good as it used to apparently. But here it is. Here's Photopea. I'm going to be bringing in some images from the assignment. So I'm switching back to that tab. I for sure want this one, the lady with the cat. That's the very top one, PS11P with lady wcat.jpg. I'm going to click on that. That opens up really quick. So this is the image that we're going to be doing the quick selection with. At the same time, I'm going to select one of the other files. You either have a lake, the snow, or the trees that you can use, and I'll leave that up to you. Make sure though that whenever you do start, you start with the file open for the background. It's going to be either lake, snow, or trees. I'm going to use the snow. I'm clicking on it and it opens it up fairly quick, and this is what I mean by using it. I'm going to right click on the image itself. You could do this with any of the other images, or the other two at least, and I'm going to copy the image. Once it's copied, I can return to Photopea tab, and here I'm going to tell it to go to File and create a new file, and just say create. It already knows what I want. I want the width to be 1000 pixels, the height to be 667, and I'll click on create. So this creates this file that's blank. I'm going to say edit and paste, and then the snow is going to be pasted onto its own background, its own layer rather. I'm going to double click on layer 1 and I'm going to say this is snow, S-N-O-W. This background is locked. It can either stay here or you can get rid of it. Just to show you how to delete a layer, it's right here. The layer background is selected, and right here there's a trash can. Click on that, delete layer. The snow is what remains. Can I lock it if I right click on it? Maybe so. It's somewhere in there. It's not as simple, I guess, or as straightforward as Photoshop is. Whenever I do find it, I'll come back and tell you. Or maybe that's the lock right there. There you go. Now it's locked. I'm going to go back in my tabs, and here is the lady with the cat. I'm going to right click on this and copy the image and come back to Photopea. I'm going to, well, rather than just pasting it on top, I'm going to create a new file with it as well. I'm going to say File, New, and Create. It already knows that it's 700 by 643. Click on Create, and then I'm going to paste. I can press either Control V as in Victor or say Edit Paste. And here it is. I can close the image of the lady with the cat, and I can close the image of the snow. As long as I have my assignment open and I have my Photopea with both of my files open. I do have the lady with the cat as a new project. I also have this snow background as a project. I want to be working with the lady with the cat because basically I want to take out the background, which is just a studio background, and then I'm going to cut out the cat and the lady. Notice the cat is kind of fuzzy. Notice the lady's coat is kind of fuzzy. This is why I can't really go and use just the tools that we've been using, and even if I were to use more advanced tools like say the magic wand that I mentioned in another assignment, it would not be as good. I can't use marquees, I can't use the ellipses, I can barely use this lasso, I mean, because of the situation that I just showed you. Lucky for us though, there are tools in both Photopea and even in Photoshop that will help us with this. Just to not get confused, you don't have to delete it, but I'm going to delete the background. I'm going to select the background layer and click on the delete layer option at the bottom of that basket. Okay, so the tool that I want to use, we've used the rectangle select and we've used the lasso select. I want to use this object selection. I'm going to click and hold it and see how we have object selection and then we have quick selection. Quick selection is what I want. So I click on that. It tells me that I have a brush to use and it's kind of small and I can change the size rather of the brush up here. I see the number 15. You may have a different number, but I'm going to click and hold the button while I am selecting this. And now it tells me that the size is 15 pixels. I want to make it a little bit larger, maybe twice as large. So I went from 15, maybe more than that. Let's see, this looks okay, but it looks like maybe somewhere around 60 would be good. I think 60 would be fine. I want to press, before I press anything, the hardness is at 100%. I don't want this to be too hard. I want to be maybe come back somewhere around the middle, somewhere around 50. I have 49 and that's fine. And I click somewhere just to deselect. And let's apply then the tool. So that's this tool right here, the quick selection. I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to want to select the lady and the cat. I'm gonna pick just any place around here, maybe where a code is, and hold the mouse button a little bit, and it actually, I didn't even have to come and spray it up, but if you have to do that, it made a quick selection of the lady and the cat. Now I told you about the fuzzy wisps of the cat hair. This is not really the best that we can do, so let's click on this tool, Refine Edge on top. And this is going to give us a new environment. Now we see the original on the left and we're going to see what we end up with. The checkerboard is transparent. I don't know that it will allow me to zoom in necessarily. Maybe later I will. But just to sort of show you here, see how at the edge it's kind of fuzzy. Maybe the dark area is bleeding through. Same thing with the fuzzy hair. So what I can do is I can use the foreground color, this white, and that means anything that is in white will remain. So if I have anything that I'm doubtful about, like this hat up here, if I click and drag with the white brush, it will make sure that it stays. I can make my brush a little bit smaller because 70 may be a little bit too large for some of these areas. And I just want to add a little bit without going too far. I'm going to press Ctrl Z because I did go too far. There. And same thing around here. Now the black just means that anything that you select on the black will go away. So you don't want to do it outside of the area because now this is showing through. Pressing Ctrl Z to undo. The important one is this one, the gray in the middle, the unknown. What do you want to do with it? We're going to let Photopea decide. I'm going to make my brush a little bit larger, maybe 40 something is good. And then I can go around the fuzzy area and that will let Photopea then make the decision for us. What can it do with that piece of artwork? Same thing with the coat here and the edge all the way around. And Photopea is making the decision for us. I don't know if you can tell what's going on. Right here it's too transparent, so for sure I want to leave it behind. I've filled it in with white. And just to get things going, I'm going to accept this. I'm going to click OK in the top right over here, and now I have this version. My original version is still there. I can turn it on and see the whole thing, but my layer 1 is now the lady with the cat all on her own. So what I can do is make sure that I'm on layer 1 right here, and I'm going to click the move button just so that I have it on. I'm going to click somewhere in the area in layer 1, the top one anyway, and press Ctrl A. That selects all. I see the marquee all the way around, and then I'm going to select Edit and Copy. By copying it and going to the other window, the one with the snow, I can then edit and paste. And that brings in the lady with the cat, drops it on top. Her elbow is kind of cut off a little bit, but I still have the move tool on, so I can click and drag her to this corner. And now she's here. My particular version here is a little bit dirty in pixels, so I'm zooming in. By the way, you can press Control plus to zoom in, Control minus to zoom out a little bit. And I want to find this tool down here. I guess it's supposed to look like an eraser. It's below the clone stamp. I click on it and I want the eraser tool selected. This is also a brush, and I'm going to go to the brush size selection and tell it to give me a little bit larger than 15, maybe not quite that large. 50 something is too big. I'm thinking maybe 40. I'm gonna go with around 44. That's fine. And the hardness, I'm going to make this soft, so it's not 100%. It's more like somewhere around 20 something percent. 30 is good. 24 is okay. And I'm going to make sure first of all that you're on layer 1 and delete if you have anything that is too much. If you go too far, press Ctrl Z to undo. It's the same thing as edit and undo. Remember also you have your history on the right always. So I'm deleting some of the stuff that I don't want to see. I can make this a little bit softer. By that I mean hardness is going to go down to almost 0 and the size is going to be larger. That will help me sort of make up that on that side. Same thing with somewhere around the coat. Let's check out the cat. The cat maybe has some things here that can be deleted. Don't delete too much, because then you'll start to eat into the image. Same thing over here. I'm just deleting some stuff that looks a little bit out of place. Well, at any rate, now we have the lady with the cat and the new background. It looks like maybe they posed for this picture elsewhere. It's a sort of a nice portrait there. I deleted a little bit more dust up there. And this is ready to be saved. So I'm going to File and Save as PSD. Save all your assignments as Photoshop documents so that I can see the layers. I'm going to give this a name. You can call it whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call it Lady and Cat, if it will let me type it. My mouse seems to be out of the picture. Okay, Lady with Cat, and click Save. This saves it onto my Google Drive from Chromebook. Make sure that to turn it in, you go to the assignment 2.3, quick selection edge refinement, and find the Browse My Computer button. And in your folder, or Artsy 1402 is my folder, in your Google Drive, find the file that you just saved, minus Lady with Cat, and then you can click Submit to turn it in. I can't because I'm an instructor. I'll get an error with that. But this is the conclusion of this tutorial. We have taken the lady with the cat, cut them out of a picture, and put them on a new background.